show. Today, as we do every Saturday morning, we'll delve into some profound and intriguing epistemological questions. For this episode, we have chosen to explore the perspective of positivists on conventionalism. This exploration will serve as an excellent exercise for us to critically engage with these philosophical currents. We'll debate these ideas with some outstanding guests. On one side, we have three distinguished positivists, and on the other side, an also distinguished conventionalist ready to share his views and respond to the concerns raised by the positivists. Our goal is to cultivate a critical mindset, to appreciate the similarities and differences between these viewpoints, and to understand the challenges conventionalism poses to positivism. I hope that today's debate will reveal both shared and divergent ideas that will stimulate thought and discussion among us all. Let's begin by introducing our first guest, the estimate Beryl Kimley. Ms. Kimley, a renewed positivist, is widely recognized in the field. Could you please share your perspective on conventionalism with us, please?
I stand before you today not to argue for conventionalism against positivism or vice versa, but rather to demonstrate how these seemingly distinct philosophies have some common grounds in our shared perceived knowledge through science. First of all, we both believe in the power of observation and empirical evidence to shape our understanding of the world. It is through testable hypotheses and verifiable data that we build our scientific edifice. Conventions act as a unifying language within the scientific community, providing a shared framework for measuring, categorizing, and interpreting the world. This aligns with our emphasis on empirical observation and verification. By establishing agreed-upon standards, conventions ensure that the data is comparable and meaningful. This, in turn, allows researchers to conflict robust theories and foster meaningful collaborations. We can say all the key pillars of scientific advancement within a positivist framework. Of course, the quest for truth remains paramount. While we seek an objective reality, I believe conventionalism adds a touch of pragmatism. Right, Sebastian?
I'm not here to give my opinion, sorry.
But this doesn't make truth a moving target. It simply reminds us that our interpretation evolves as an evidence and perspectives emerge. This is where things get interesting. Neopositivism, with its emphasis on diverse methodologies, aligns beautifully with conventionalism. Different fields may have unique conventions tailored to their specific object of study. This allows for a more nuanced and flexible approach to inquiry, promoting progress without sacrificing rigor. Finally, conventionalism fosters a dynamic view of science, similar to Kant's notions of paradigm shifts. As new data emerges or paradigms change, they adapt and evolve, reflecting a self-corrective and ever-evolving scientific progress. In conclusion, I don't see conventionalism as a contradicting positivism, but rather as a complementing it. It provides the framework for theory building, data interpretation, and a dynamic approach to pursue the truth within a scientific journey. Thank you, Sebastian, for asking my opinion about it.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kimley. I'm confident your audience appreciates your insight and has better grasp of the similarity between these two philosophical currents. To further explore these ideas, I'd like to welcome Mr. Diego Barrio. an expert in the field. What are your thoughts on conventionalism, sir?
Thank you, Beryl, for your insightful remarks. Well, I appreciate the points you've raised and the common ground you have identified between conventionalist perspective and our approach. To management research, your reflections on the dynamic nature of science and the perpetual questioning inherent in our understanding of reality, as articulated by the well-known Francis Bacon, resonate deeply with me. Expanding on Bacon's notion, well, it becomes arguable that despite our aspirations to uncover universal truth, our interpretation of reality, well, they are inevitably shaped by our individual perspective. Thus, science unfolds as a dynamic journey of exploration, constantly evolving based on frequent observations and by applying systematic doubt. Well, conventionalism, recognition of the role of systematic doubt in scientific inquiry, is crucial in this context. Doubt serves as a catalyst for refinement and improvement, driving scientists to question established beliefs and theories in pursuit of a greater understanding. Well, in my view, too, I emphasize that the importance of skepticism, in the scientific progress helps to weed out erroneous assumptions and biases, leading to more robust and reliable knowledge. Moreover, conventionalism emphasis on the evolution of scientific paradigms resonate with my view of science as a cumulative enterprise. I acknowledge that scientific knowledge is provisional and subject to revision, considering new evidence of more refined theoretical frameworks. Therefore, the idea of scientific breakthrough lead to the establishment of new paradigm and reflect the positivist belief, so my belief, in the progressive nature of scientific inquiry. Okay. Moreover, as Beryl, you've said, and you refer to neopositivism, I would particularly argue on Karl Popper's insights, which has more common ground with conventionalism than we would think. He sheds light on the alignment between conventionalism and diverse methodological approaches. Popper's acknowledgement of scientists in promoting particular theory mirrors the conventionalist view of scientists as social agents, shaping truths through the subjective lenses. However, it's crucial to recognize that while subjective influences exist, the scientific method remains a robust tool for understanding the complexity of our world. Nevertheless, I must express some reservation regarding the assertion that our streams, our school of thoughts, are not fundamentally opposed. While there are indeed shared elements stemming from an alternative interpretation of logical positivism, the core positivism, there are also notable disparities that warrant consideration. One such difference lies in the treatment of scientific knowledge centrality, particularly concerning the issue of underdetermination.
Continue, please. Yes.
Conventionalism's acceptance of multiple theories explaining the same empirical data contrasts with our advocacy for a singular and determinate conception of scientific knowledge. This divergence raises concern for me about the feasibility of conventionalism maintaining certainty to build a scientific framework. In my opinion, I prefer to believe in our ability to progress and refine our understanding of the world. Then, from my perspective, while conventionalism provides valuable insight into the subjective nature of scientific inquiry, its accommodation of multiple interpretations may inadvertently dilute the clarity and precision necessary for advancing knowledge. Okay? Furthermore, the emphasis on perpetual questioning while intellectually stimulating may also introduce a degree of ambiguity that impedes substantive progress. Now Sebastian will finish. In conclusion, while there are undeniable parallels between our approach and conventionalism, rooted in alternative interpretation of what we call logical positivism, it's essential to acknowledge the existence of fundamental differences. These disparities, they underscore the divergent path we traverse in our pursuit of knowledge, highlighting the nuanced complexities inherent in philosophical discourse and epistemological too. Ultimately, I believe that it is through robust analysis and critical engagement that we can navigate these complexities and enrich our understanding of the world. Well, thank you for listening. Sebastian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Bayo. It appears there is a bit of tension emerging. Is everything alright there? Let's turn to Sir Alex Rito. What would you like to add?
Let's look at how conventionalism makes it impossible to compare different theories. It's like saying every idea lives in its own bubble, safe from being challenged. How can we ever get closer to the truth like this? Positivism is all about building on what we know, checking and rechecking facts to get as close as we can to real, undeniable truth. Conventionalism, just leading us into chaos. When it comes to how we found out things, conventionalism loves to mix and match methods, often losing sight of accuracy and clarity. And then there is this whole idea of throwing out clear, unbiased language. How can we even debate this? Saying that we can observe things without changing them just throws objectivity out the window. This brings us to the big showdown between subjectivity and objectivity. Conventionalism is a growing attitude toward letting personal views into science. Is eroding the very ground we stand on. We, as positivists, do not just prefer objectivity, we demand it, making sure our discoveries show the world as it is, not as it wished to be. And the problem of theories not fitting the facts that perfectly is another sticking point. Conventionalism might find comfort in the idea that many theories can explain the facts, but that's a no-go for us. We want the hard work of digging deeper, finding the evidence that tells us which theory is right, not just taking the easy way out. And don't get me started on how conventionalism decides what's true based on what everyone thinks. Relying on opinion for scientific truth, it's just wrong.
No, yes.
Conventionalism mix of disciplines and methods might look like rich diversity, but really it's a mess that's pulling us away from the true understanding. Positivism seeks harmony, each part working together, guided by clear rules and shared goal of real knowledge. Conventionalism loves for sudden shift in science, as if it changes itself, its progress misses the point. For positivists, progress is about theories that can be tested and proved wrong, moving steadily towards the truth, not just jumping from an idea to another. Ignoring the big philosophical questions, as conventionalism does, is like trying to navigate without a map. Positivism knows that we need these deep questions to guide us, to make sure our science is about discovering the real world, not just making things up as we go. The idea that we can just pick and choose how we do science without any clear rules is something positivism cannot accept. Our methods are our lifeline, making sure our finding stands up over time, unlike the free-for-all that conventionalism seems to endorse. Lastly, let's tackle what I call the mob psychology issue head on. In the world of conventionalism, you've got your conventions, supposedly built on consensus within the scientific community you mingled in. However, the very fact that people rally around your theories often boils down to your clout within this community. It's argued, and rightly so, that this isn't genuinely science in action. If your ideas gain traction simply because you've got access to media, money, or other forms of power, it's your influence at work, not the merit of your science. True science isn't about who shouts the loudest or who has the deepest pockets. It's about ideas that stand up to scrutiny regardless of their origin. This reliance on social momentum rather than solid evidence undercuts the very essence of what science should be. Objective, verifiable, and independent of personal or political power. So let me be clear, our stand against conventionalism isn't just a talk. It's a serious call for all who care about real knowledge to steer clear of the confusion and subjectivity it brings. Positivism isn't just a way of thinking, it's our guide through the fog, leading us the solid ground of true, reliable knowledge. It's very important to us. Thank you, Sebastian.
It seems our expert has voiced criticism of conventional methods for this subjectivity and lack of rigor, advocating instead for a fact-based, measurable approach that avoids personal or societal bias. To enrich the debate further, it's crucial to hear from the other side, so I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Antoine Cordier, a well-known conventionalist. Hello, Mr. Cordier. How do you respond to these challenges posed by your positivist colleagues?
Thank you, Sebastian, for this introduction, and thank you all for sharing your opinions in this debate. I would like to come back on the few elements that were addressed earlier here. First of all, you challenge our approach of underdetermination. We assert that for any given body of evidence there exist multiple equally valid interpretations or theories that can account for any observed phenomena. Now, I understand that you may view underdetermination as a challenge that suggests an inherent limitation in our quest for absolute certainty. However, I propose a different perspective. One that sees underdetermination as a revelation about the richness and diversity of reality itself. Consider this. If a single set of evidence can give rise to multiple valid interpretations, what does that say about the multifaceted nature of the world we seek to understand? It implies that reality is not a monolithic entity, easily captured by a single theory or perspective. Instead, it's a dynamic web of possibilities offering countless opportunities for exploration and comprehension. Moreover, underdetermination invites us to embrace the necessity of diverse theoretical perspectives. Rather than viewing competing theories as conflicting or mutually exclusive, we should celebrate them as complementary facets of a larger, more comprehensive understanding. Each theories contribute a unique angle, shedding light on different aspects of complex phenomena we encounter. I think overall our approach with the conventionalist movement doesn't impede the pursuit of universal truth. Instead, it serves as catalyst for nurturing intellectual diversity. Our approach is designed to prevent hasty rejection of potentially valid theories.
acknowledging the distinctiveness of each research field, the inherent complexity of reality. We advocate against the imposition of a single methodology on such a multifaceted subject. Recognizing the varied ways in which each field observes reality and the diverse objectives they pursue, we contend that a one-size-fits-all approach is inadequate. In our perspective, the intricate nature of reality demands a spectrum of methodologies, each tailored to the unique requirements of different domains, thereby enabling a more nuanced understanding of a shared truth. And finally, don't you think you are in your own paradigm? You have your own view of what is valid knowledge, what isn't, how to access it, or how you cannot. You are not conscious about it because you are part of the dominant group. So Alex, who is the mob here? I think it's you, not me. And we have been socialized into thinking your methods are the norm and you do not tolerate it when people, conventionalists in my case, challenge the limitation and methods of your model. In the end, you say you seek the truth about the world and yet you reject each thing that does not the way you go and you claim it's not science. You claim inspiration from enlightenment and yet you are actively contributing to a form of scientific dogma that the very enlightened scientists that inspired you opposed. That will be it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cordier, for your insightful and articulate responses. Your perspective not only addresses the challenges posed by our positive guests, but also addresses our understanding of conventionalism nuances. It's clear from today's discussion that the dialogue between positivism and conventionalism is both complex and fruitful, offering a wealth of ideas for us to ponder. Your contributions today have significantly illuminated the debate, demonstrating the importance of considering diverse viewpoints in the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. As we draw this episode to a close, I want to express my gratitude to all of our guests for their thoughtful participation and to our audience for joining us in this intellectual journey. It's conversations like this that drive the evolution of thought and help us appreciate the depth and breadth of philosophical inquiry. And now, as we transition from the realm of philosophical debate to the world of music and entertainment, we're excited to present a special treat. Please stay tuned for the concert of the well-known rock star Christian Ansperger. It promises to be an exhilarating performance showcasing his remarkable talent and energizing presence. Thank you once again for tuning into the Saturday morning epistemological show. We hope today's discussion has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore this idea further. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and keep seeking the truth.
Every idea lives in its own bubble, safe from being challenged.
Sorry, I'm not here to give my opinion.
Okay, start again.
I agree.
Multiple. Alex!